They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up.
We've been married about 15 months. And we happened to meet on the internet, by the way.
You know, at first, I was like, I don't know, maybe he's from Chicago. He might be a slick. And we got to talking, and I realized he was a man of integrity. This is the best age ever. Because you've been through some experiences and you know some things that you didn't understand earlier in life.
You can appreciate it, I think, now that you can look back on certain things.
You know, true passion is grown out of understanding and knowing someone.
The power of our love is integrity and honesty.
We just tell each other the truth, even when we don't
agree.
Yeah, exactly. We agree to disagree.
Yeah, Rich, that's right. My love for you is
what?
Genuine and real.
My love for you is complete.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive.
No, I've been staying at my dad's place because of everything.
Here you go. It's your favorite. It's chicken noodle.
He's good.
Oh, wait, Dad. Wait, hang on.
Yeah, I know. We keep missing each other. I've been working out of my dad's house. Doing some reading. I should be working out more. I know it's important to stay healthy. It's just, I don't have the time. I just feel like I'm drowning.
Your turn.
In tough times like this, we know it can be easy to neglect your own health and well-being.
Dad, it's the girls. Oh.
What kind of dance is that?
While you care for your loved one, you also need to care for yourself.
You look good.
Go to aarp.org/caregiving for free mental health and self-help tips.
Sorry about that. No, I've been staying.
How's everybody doing today? Just chopping it up with the doc once again. Just figured I'd come on the air again and talk to you all about, I guess, things going on in your community and things going on in the world. I may have a guest on later on this during the program today, so we'll give him a chance to call in. I have some other guests coming on in the upcoming weeks. A couple of surgeons, neurologists, and actually a special person coming on to talk to us about a serious medical condition and I guess how it's changed her life. Outside of that, once again, I always like to start the program by talking about things that are plaguing the community. One is these viruses, okay? You know, whether it be COVID, flu, RSV, you know, the key is prevention. All right. So the things we got to do is basically, if you can avoid places that are full of people and congested with people, especially people that aren't wearing masks, try to avoid them. That's the first thing. Let's, you know, if it's a highly contagious, communicable problem. So let's try to avoid people that, you know, could ultimately make us sick. COVID's still going on. I mean, if you got to be out, wear your mask. Keep your hands clean. I stress that. Keep your hands clean. Try to keep them from out of your face. Try to keep from coming into close contact with people if you can avoid it. You know, I've been in places, I'm watching people cough, cough in their hands and then go touching everything, oh boy, so, it's a difficult, thing to follow, especially when you're trying to prevent the spread of germs. You see people just easily just laying them down on everything that they touch. All right. Children are difficult. We can try to teach them to make a game out of washing their hands. As often as they can. I mean, I know it's difficult with small people, especially when they're ill. The first thing they tend to want to do is they want to become clingy and sit in your laps and be hugged. And, they're going to pass all these, wonderful things to those people that love them most. Outside of that, there are a lot of other things that are plaguing the community. The one thing that I found alarming when I was listening to the news the other day is that they've had more mass shootings than they've had days this year. More mass shootings. I think they had 2 or 3 today. It seems like every day, you have something going on. I don't know what the underlying reasons are. This mental health issue that's going on out here is it's serious. I mean, they had one that appeared that was in a dance hall, another catastrophe in a place that specializes in people with special needs. People, they're hurting. Okay, you don't know who it could be. You don't know when these people are going to just explode, but if you see something, say something. Okay. If you see somebody having issues, all right, if you see someone that's acting different, that's acting a little strange, say something to someone, or take a minute and speak to them. Say, hey, I noticed you haven't really been yourself lately, and reach out to people and let them know that, hey, everything's going to be all right. I think people in general take for granted, a lot of blessings that they have. I recently watched someone suffer for 14 years. Suffer. Okay. But there wasn't a day that this person didn't feel that she was loved. She's in a better place now, a much better place now, because she's no longer suffering. I mean, she couldn't speak, she couldn't move, and she was basically 100% total dependent on her caregivers. Okay. But when she could, she would acknowledge you. When she could, she would look you in the eye. When she could, she would smile. And as hard as her life was for the last 14 years, I mean, I never felt anything but joy having her around. And I tell people, I said, you know what? We can't take for granted the blessings we have, because there are people out here, that, hey, they are really suffering. And when you see people out here, whether, they're, sick like that, or, just people that you come across every day, please, I heard the lady on the news say it. I said, you know what? Maybe we just need to spend more time appreciating and loving each other a little bit more. And maybe we can get past a lot of these catastrophes that are going on, and, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free to reach out and just let people know that you're thinking about them or you care about them. It just takes a brief moment in your life to and that may make a big difference in someone else's. Anyway, listen, it looks like I got a guest on. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, it looks like I guess they're here with us. Let's see. Oh, man. All right. I see that they're logged on, but I can't hear them. Let's see if we can.
Block.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Good. It's Jet Black from DC, Doc.
Hey, man, how you been?
Man, working in the studio, man, getting these projects together, staying out the way in the matrix, you know.
Oh man, the Matrix.
That's what I call it.
Serious out there? You call it the Matrix?
That's what I call it. You know, I feel like Neo in here. I feel like a lost soul amongst a couple of lost souls, you know? Like,
What's going on? What you doing out there?
Well, man,
what's going on, man? Why you feel like you're lost?
I mean, even on the streets, it's terrible here in DC. We talked about the last time I talked, but I'm not even going to go into the negative of that. I'm gonna go into the mind thinking of some of these people in DC, not women, not men, but all of them in a sense. You know, some not the elite, not the ones that are woke, but the ones that are still asleep in the matrix. Man, you know, social media, they're getting carried away. You know, I've never seen. I know the porno business got to be running out of business messing with social media because everybody's naked on social media.
Okay.
And for me, you know, for youth growing up, you know, I got little ones in my family and stuff like that I help take care of too and look forward to a legacy. It doesn't give them the opportunity to have morals, if you ask me again. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not knocking, you know, I got friends that get on the pole, make that money and all that, but they still kind of discreet. But I'm talking about these housewives and these 30 to 40-year-old women that's having these breakdowns, feeling like they got to get naked to get some attention. The attention seekers, really. That's what I'm trying to break it down to, Doc. Okay. Help me understand why these people are acting so thirsty for attention. Like on Facebook, I'm pretty much, if it wasn't for the music, I wouldn't go on it because all you're going to do is give everybody a happy birthday, congratulations, happy anniversary, or my prayers.
Okay.
So everything seems programmed. It's like it's nothing or it's death. You know, let me ask you this. When's the last time you seen on social media somebody had a baby born?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. But when was the last time you went on social media and it was, pray for my father, he had a stroke. You know what I mean? Pray for my mother, pray for me. I mean, I'm in the hospital, I'm at the dentist, I'm on the toilet.
Well, I do see people requesting prayers for people that are that are ill. You know, I do see that periodically where, you know, people do reach out and say, can you pray for, I guess, someone that may be close to them, you know?
Now,
so I do see that.
I understand that, Doc, but wouldn't the prayer be better if these people start being lazy and take their ass to the hospital? Like right now, I'm taking care of helping take care of my uncle, and we have a big family who's not getting any help really.
What do you mean?
None. But right now he's in the hospital. Right now he's in the hospital, and me and his best friend are pretty much the only ones who's helping him out. And we have a big, huge family, like a Medea type of family. And what I'm saying is, people that give you the prayers, like I put up a picture of him for his birthday. Nobody really know his business. I put up a picture for his birthday, and the family mostly, you know, said happy birthday, which was in November. But now he's back and forth in the hospital. Nobody went to see him. Nobody's coming over to the house to make sure the house is good. Nothing like that. So that's, again, going back to what I'm saying, not trying to be biased with just women or men, but social media. Everybody is being a thirsty for the wrong attention and not giving their spirit, real touch, real feel, realness to an individual spirit that needs it. You know, it ain't even about, I'm not trying to preach like I'm holy and this and all that. But what I'm saying is sometimes the touch is better. Like if you put the water on the flower, it's going to grow. You don't put no water on it, it's going to die. So that's what I mean by our elders, people that are sick, us in general. Spread more positivity and prayer in face to face instead of social media. we lazy.
Now,
My
let me
people
ask
in Africa are starving. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You know what? I kind of get a sense of what you're saying. I'm gonna go back a little bit before social media.
Okay.
And we can go back and forth a little bit with it. Now, family members, I'm gonna go back to a time when I believe I was coming up. Well, I know I was coming up.
All right.
I remember spending a lot of time at my grandmother's home coming up. And, I had a lot of cousins, mostly girls. So, matter of fact, all girls. I was the only boy. And I always said my room was all the way on the top of one of those 4 or 5-story brownstone homes in Baltimore City. And I had the little middle room. And what I remember is that there was always, if there was no one there, I was always upstairs by myself on that top floor. Being little, it was always scary because I was up there by myself. It was funny. But my room didn't really have any lights in it. So I used to try to leave the hallway light on. But what I do remember is that the majority of the time, there were other family members up there. Now, I say that because what I remember growing up is I remember my uncles, I remember my aunts, and I remember my grandmother taking care of everyone when they had fallen ill. They all had a room upstairs on that 3rd floor. And, sometimes they would come and go. Sometimes they would come and, unfortunately, when it was time to be called home, they were called home. But the thing is that what I remember and what really became part of me is understanding that the responsibility of taking care of our own is and should be our own responsibility. Now, I never heard her ever fuss or complain or anything to anyone about her assuming that responsibility to take care of her family. As a matter of fact, I think she thrived on it and really enjoyed it because those doors were always open. And some people were really sick, family members. And I know that we all have these huge families and they promise that they're going to participate and they promise that they're going to be around and they claim that they're going to help. They're screaming from the cheap seats. They're giving praises from the cheap seats, during good days and screaming from the cheap seats when they disagree with something that you do. All right.
Yes, sir.
And it makes, I never asked I didn't understand. I wish I could have asked her how she felt about that. I guess she may be feeling about that the same way you're feeling about this today. Because, people, I guess God only gives us what we can handle. But the thing is that I guess if we're going to do something, then we have to make a commitment to do it. And if someone reaches out to say, hey, man, let me give you a hand, we'll accept it. But I think it kind of says something about us when we get upset when people don't. Because, it's a big commitment to take and put your life on hold to help another. And some people, I'm going to say a lot of people, either don't want to, refuse to, or just lack the ability to just give their hearts completely to care for someone other than themselves.
I think the last point.
Some people are so caught up in what I used to call real life syndrome, just caught up in their own household with their own lives, that they don't take the time to even look out for their moms and dads, their grandmas and grandpas. Not because they don't want to, it's just that they just feel as though they don't have time. And what someone else needs will take too much from their own personal lives. And man, that always, I tell you, that's always given me makes me angry when I see that. I've never understood how someone could give you life, clean your bottom, feed you, clothe you, dust you off when you fall down, bandage you up when you're hurt, be there for a shoulder for you to cry on your entire life, and you forget about them during the years that they need you. Or worse, in my opinion, pass them off to total strangers to care for them, and then you get angry because you don't like the type of care that they're given by strangers.
Oh, you hit the home right there.
Who's going to love you more than your own? Why should you depend on a stranger to love you, okay, when you have family that's supposed to love you more? And what kind of love are you going to get for somebody that's being paid $15 an hour that doesn't know you? What kind of commitment are you going to get from people day in and day out, all right, that's there to make a living?
And see, Doc, you hitting so much to home and bringing so much knowledge and awareness to myself and my soul, because a few other people, maybe two other guys, one that met my uncle, one of my friends, he's like a cousin to me, real good fella. My uncle has lung cancer.
Okay.
So he's in the last stages where he can't do too much. They got to bring the hospital bed to the house and all that now.
Right.
So he's been preparing me without having to say I'm dying. That death is natural.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I was in a depression, losing my best friend 3 years ago, my father 2 years ago, and amongst a whole bunch of uncles and nephews and aunties, all in 3 years since COVID hit, not just COVID, but to the streets, natural deaths, all that, but just losing my loved ones, especially, my godfather, Phil Murray, God rest his soul. He taught me everything for over 2 decades, going on 3, and this is the time we put him to rest, now these days. Matter of fact, he's 26. And my uncle now that's still living, one of the last Mohicans, and I have a few that's stronghold. It gives me hope. And in my spare time, I've been seeking more knowledge of self by, seeing what is it, my purpose. I want to leave a legacy. So I been looking up legacy in the Quran and in different places, and not being biased, but from what I'm understanding, my legacy is to be able to leave something that the world can endure, not just me, but something that can help the world. So in doing that, it helped me feel better on what I'm doing for my elders. I help take care of my mom, my uncle, and whoever I can.
Right.
I come from that where you have to rake the leaves and shovel snow, where we had morals, where we didn't have 2 men on TV kissing in every commercial. I come from a different era. So in the Matrix, Doc, I tune everything out. I don't watch it no more. I don't intake the news. I don't intake the drama. If I go on Facebook to do my promotions, I find myself just scrolling saying happy birthday to over 5,000 people that I do not know. I might know 500, but just if I could bring a little bit of joy in somebody's heart to show appreciation of their life, that's what I want to do on social media. But I try to avoid the drama, the look at this, the police press out. Like, that's been happening before my time. Not that I don't care, because I'm a rebel. And you know that, Doc. When I sit with ceasefire, don't smoke the brothers on the front line, but we still do old ways, not bragging, it's fact. But if more people come up with a plan and stick together, like you said, my homie, going back to that, said what you said, we got to take care of our own. Because nobody knew I was doing what I was doing, and they still don't. It's the first time I've opened up about it. And, you know, people don't know me. They might know me, but they don't know who I'm talking about. So it's still in the cut. But it's facts. And I just want to say, if we all can have a little bit of compassion, you know, those that grimy, stay grimy. But if we have compassion and consideration for the next person, especially of color, we might can move faster and better along with our life. That's all.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let's take a step to the side for a little bit, and let's talk about the care for people that are. Let's talk about end of life care from a different perspective, from a personal perspective, from a nephew or son or a daughter. Let's talk about that. Here you have your uncle. Okay. He's going to come home, or if he's not home already, and he's going to spend 95 to 99% of his time in a room, either laying in a hospital bed or sitting in a chair.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, St. Peter going to come when he's ready. Am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely right.
He coming when he's ready, right? Okay. All right. So I used to tell people, let's not sit around and wait on him. Okay. All right. Now, we know when that time comes that it's going to come. All right. So let's do things that will make you happy. Okay? All right? Let's do things that'll make you happy. All right? And a lot of times, some of these things are the very basic things. All right? So let's start from the simplest one. Diet. Let's talk about diet. All right? So we have someone that's ill. The chemicals in their body are making it hard for them to taste, to eat, to drink, you know, making it hard for them to do some of these things, right or wrong. That's why they lose so much weight. They're not getting enough calories. Now let me ask you a question. All right. The hospital will send you home with something called Ensure or some kind of milky substance in a can. You know what I'm saying? They give you some calories. All right. Now let me ask you a question. If your mouth is dry and you've been laying around all day long, okay, and I came in there and just gave you a can of that milk, how would you feel about drinking that?
I wouldn't drink it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Let me ask you a question. What would you want to drink? If you were really thirsty, what would you want to drink?
I'm going to give it to you like this.
Just tell me, we're talking. Because, you know what? We're not talking to just each other. We're talking to everybody in the world. So everybody wants to know what would you want to drink?
Me? Some iced tea.
Iced tea. All right.
My mom, when she went through the exact same thing, a Pepsi.
Pepsi
And that
Cola.
that was in 2019, 2020. She got sick.
Man, hey, listen, you know what? When you hot and thirsty, your mouth is dry,
but
like a cold Pepsi.
They did exactly what you said. they stuffed her with Ensures, and even when I leave, she would call me, tell me she couldn't drink that because she don't drink milk.
Yeah, who wants to drink that nonsense? Get the lungs. You know, that's the last thing they go to the bathroom on themselves, right?
But she was drinking Pepsis pretty much all my life. But when she got sick, she listened to me about changing her diet. So now she drinks water. She doesn't drink sodas anymore. She drinks water. And it's funny, she doesn't like Ensure, but she likes Ensure Plus.
Okay, that's all right. Listen, whatever makes her happy. For my grandfather, man, you know what? It would bring a tear to his eye when he got an RC Cola. I don't even think they make RC Cola anymore. You know?
Man, listen to me. My uncle, when he come home, you know what he's going to do? He's going to send me to the store to go get him some backwoods, get him some green, so he can roll up and smoke. Now, mine just told you he has lung cancer.
That's okay.
So he wants pound cake, I go to the store, get him pound cake. He wants butter pecan ice cream, I go get him butter pecan ice cream. Whatever he wants to make comfortable, I go get it. He want walnuts, he cussed the other guy out. I knew what he wanted. A guy brought him back a bag of walnuts that was plain. I said, nah, man, he wanted them in the shell. I went to the store and got him the right one. I make it comfortable for him.
But that's what it's all about, man. You know?
Because he prepares me, Doc, he prepares me. Mom prepares me. He's like, we all gonna have to go one day.
Yeah. So why not go to smile? Go to smile on your face.
And this is what he says. He says, nephew, make sure you take care of you, because you see where I'm at.
Dude, listen, he telling you the truth. You know, I see that a lot of people have diabetes. They have problems with sugar. You know, I'm not worried about, I'm taking care of a lot of people as far as end of life. The last thing I'm really concerned about is having issues with sugar later in the late stages of life. You know, I could always give something to cover for the sugar, okay, as a physician. But you know what? What I remember, and I got thousands of people that I remember taking care of. Is I remember a patient who say, you know what, doc, man, when you come, man, can you bring some cold beers with you? I said, cold beer? I said, yeah, I could really go for a cold beer.
Well, I ain't gonna tell you what I brought him in the hospital over the air because it might get me in trouble.
No, you know what? It's okay. I get it though. You hear what I'm saying? You know what? And I'm sitting up. I was like, why not? You know. And I would sit there and I gave him that cold beer, man. I saw that man he was so happy. You know, so happy. You know, there becomes a point in their people's lives where there's nothing that you can do for them medically. You know, it's just
Doc, let me give you this something you brought to my mind like a metaphor, and you got me thinking over here. When a person's on death row, they get a last meal of of their choice, right?
Right.
Because they know they about to die, right? So just go and piggybacking on what you were saying, who are we to deny somebody that's sick what they want in death? That's like their last meal.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that some people have preconceived ideas of what you should and should not have.
The Matrix.
But the thing is that, you know what? The senior citizens, their taste buds tend to wear out during the course of their life, meaning that they can't really taste sweet things too much, and they can't really taste salty things too much. So if you ever noticed an older person, they seem like you're always adding a lot of sugar or pouring a lot of salt on their food because that's just a normal process of aging.
I never knew that.
So if I wanted people to drink, I bring them some pretzels, potato chips, some salty French fries, some pork rinds. You hear what I'm saying? because I know
Okay.
after eating those things, man, they're going to want to drink some fluids. All right.
Gotcha.
Those things make them thirsty.
Gotcha.
So, but the thing is, I had patients. I had a gentleman, man. I used to love this old guy, man. He had to be in his 90s when he finally passed. He was from England. He didn't need anything. All right. He was healthy, but he wanted to come see me every week. He had to come see me. His family said that he would sit in his room all day, every day, and just basically watch TV. But he knew that Tuesday mornings, he was coming to see me every week. So they didn't even have to go dressing. He was already dressed, ready to go, early in the morning. He'd be the first one in my office. And you know what he came for? You know what he came for? Because we both liked some of the same things. And he was like, you know what? I can't afford it anymore. But I would love to come have a glass of scotch with you every week. So every week, this man would come to my office every week, first thing in the morning, and I would pour him a shot of single malt. He never finished it. But to just watch him pick the glass up every week, take that sip, and look at that smile every single week, man, just did something to my heart every week, man. I still get chills looking at this gentleman enjoy it. We talked for 5 or 10 minutes. Man, his color would change. His whole outlook on everything. It's like for that brief moment of time, whatever was bothering him didn't bother him anymore. And then he would get up out the chair and he would say, I got to let the next person come in, but I will make my appointment to see you again next week. And he did that every single week for a long time. You hear me? And I can tell you that I don't really share my scotch with anybody. Okay. I mean, I didn't, but I look forward to sharing scotch with him every single week. Every single week. And man, it was a pleasure just watching him. He'd come in one mindset, and when he left, it was just like he just got a taste of the fountain of youth, and he was up again. And his family would tell me he'd go in, he'd be smiling and talking, then he'd go to his room, and he would basically sit there and wait. It was like he went from week to week. You hear what I'm saying? His family, they weren't, that's just something they weren't into, but they didn't mind that he came to me for that. That was like the best medicine he could ever have. Yeah, you know and that's, sometimes we have to find, it's not about curing. It's about healing. And it's not necessarily always healing an ailment. Sometimes it's touching the spirit, man. You hear what I'm saying? Sometimes that's what it is, And so when you're out there and you're caring for your uncle, man, and you know he's in that room, say, Unc, it's 2 degrees outside. But I want you to see that. I want the sun to touch your face today. You hear me? And you take him out there and you let the sun hit his face, man, and watch him change. You hear me? You say, listen, I know that, listen, I know you're having a difficult time with this or difficult time with that, but today, this is where we're eating. He may not finish it. He may only be able to taste it. But for that particular moment in time, man, that makes him feel like he's alive, that he's not waiting to just wait his number to come up. That's the way I want you to think about helping people like him. Yes, sir. Don't worry about it. People around you don't acknowledge it. People around you don't want to come and give you a break. People around you just don't want to seem like they want to participate. Everybody wants to sit right there. Don't do this. Don't do that. Okay? Do this. Do that. You know, just look at them and say, hey, when you want to do something, if you think something else should be done, give your time. I'll step aside.
But this the thing with me, Doc. Like, a lot like you're saying, Uncle's prepared me, because like I say, he's good and I'm good with it. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely gonna bring him outside, stuff like that. Because those are things he told me to do for my mom. You know, my mom is a stubborn one as far as going outside. But this is what's really got a hold on my a grip on my thoughts. When he do pass, I don't want to see the fakeness. See, that's where I'm at with it. I'm good right now. It's when he do pass.
Don't worry about it.
How do I deal with the fakeness by me being so real?
Just all you gotta do is just smile.
I can be quiet, Doc. But I mean, it's hard.
You know
hard. When them thoughts go through your head.
Don't hate him. Don't hate him. Don't be mad at him. You know, just accept it for what it is. Okay? People are always going to have something smart to say, or people are going to come up and you know they're not real. You can just look at them, smile, and keep on moving. You know, because the thing is, see, I always tell people, JB, the mirror never lie to you. It'll never lie to you. You can call yourself what you want to call yourself. You can be who you think you are. But when you look in that mirror, you're looking right back at yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You hear what I'm saying? Because the truth is right in front of you. You know what you do. The people that want to act fake, those are the ones that'll carry the guilt. Those are the ones that'll carry the burden because they didn't do everything that they could. Those will be the ones that resent you only out of envy. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy into it and just let it go. You know, say, listen, man, I did for him because I love him. Okay? All right? I don't know why you didn't do for him. I can't say you didn't love him. I can't say you didn't care. But what I can say is that I did my best. And I gave him my heart, man. I did everything that I could. All right? And guess what? You won't mourn. You won't mourn. You'll miss him, but you won't mourn. You have no guilt. You have no guilt. You have nothing. You have no cross to bear, man. As long as you do everything you can to make someone else's life better. You have no cross to bear, man. No burden.
Thanks for that, Doc.
You know what I'm saying?
I needed that to clear my conscience. I needed that, Doc. Because, you know what I mean? You know, like I said, with a lot going on in the environment, product of the environment, changing out of the environment more into Allah and to God. You know what I mean? You try to fight your thoughts of not going back old, of you know, oh, people crying, oh, he was a good man. And then, you know, I go over to him, man, look, and shake him up and say, look here, man, you know we ain't doing nothing for him. You know what I mean? So it's hard not to be who I, you know what I mean, who I was groomed back then. You know what I mean, with those thoughts of trying to be good. So it's like sometimes it's a gift and a curse that when you're waking up out of the roughness of your environment, and people, like you say, still gonna come at you. But this is things he's taught me, and I've said it the last time I talked to you. When I said that this is not heaven and this is not hell, but make it your heaven, that comes from my uncle. We living in hell with nowhere to hide. That comes from my uncle. We all got a friend. We got a friend that we listen to. That comes from my uncle.
Okay.
And he'd be like, "Don't listen to Sliftfoot. He's gonna talk to you, so don't listen to Sliftfoot. You listen to your friend. I got a friend. You got a friend. They might be on the same wavelength, but you just keep listening to your friend, and you're gonna be all right." That's how he's been teaching me all my life.
See. The thing is, like I said, man, you know what? As long as you know in your heart you do the best you can for people, you know.
Yes, sir.
I'm not perfect by far. But if I do something for people, man, I do it from my heart. I do the best that I can for them. Sometimes, and I've had my own share of problems because of it. I go a little too much out of the way to try to improve the quality of life for people. Would I do it again? I can't answer that question, because for me, everything is situational. If I find a way to help someone that's suffering, then I'm gonna do the best I can to help someone through their suffering. Because I have to live with myself, man, no matter what. And the thing is that when I lose people that are close to me, because everybody that I've treated, man, I treat like my own family. They are my family, and it's always been a blessing for me to be involved in the care for people, the care of people. All right. So the thing is that when I lose people, I miss them. Man, I miss them. I miss the conversations and the stories, and I get involved in people's lives. I'm in their homes. I'm eating dinner with them. I'm at their weddings, their funerals, you name it. Okay. But the thing is that I don't mourn their loss. Okay. Because I know that they're no longer in pain. I know that they're no longer suffering, no problems with breathing, no chest pains, no headaches, no stress. Man, when I see them resting on that final day, then I know their burdens have been lifted, man. And instead of sadness, man, I feel joy. I feel joy. I miss them, okay? But I feel joy because I know that my friend who suffered and fought the fight is now at peace.
I can honestly say this. Doc, I can honestly say that this would be the very first time of me, preparing for that experience after losing so many people, and kind of being blank. Going through grief, but depression takes you through certain stages. For me, it just makes me go more to the music, put more of what I go through into the music, and more silent and conversation, isolated and more introverted. But it's chapters. But for me, this would be the first time that I'm actually, more calm with me, growing, more knowledge of self to prepare for that. And because he's in pain. And I don't like when he's in pain, but I understand why he's in pain. And, every day is a blessing. But every day, I prepare myself that he's not going to be here and not in pain anymore. I just don't want him in pain. So I try to make it comfortable, like you say. So I thank you for that, Doc. I really do. You helped me bring more knowledge today.
Yeah. And you know what? Listen, there's nothing wrong with asking his provider for something more for his pain. Okay? There's nothing wrong with asking his provider for something more for his pain. All right?
I like what you said. I'm going to put it in the song, too. We got to take care of our own. That's going to be one of my new songs.
Hey, listen, man.
And Doc, you got to go on Go-Go Royalty. Not trying to go off topic, but you got to go get 16 Shades of Black if you ain't already got it. And Two Sides of the Story is about to drop on Go-Go Royalty only, not on Bentley Records. Bentley Records is not treating me good, so and they distributors. I'm an independent artist, letting everybody know I'm a struggling artist. I need 50,000 followers on my Instagram, and we're gonna have some new backdoor things on not in a bad way, but on my channel. Where you see the white jet black slogan, where I'm gonna be putting up some exclusive content. I do tracks, I do acting, and it's all my little road trips. So things I'm talking about will be only an exclusive on my subscribing channel, Doc.
Well, you know what? And this is a great time, and I've had a lot of people tuning into the program. Okay. For everybody that's listening tonight, he's an artist. His name is Jet Black. Okay. You can go on Instagram and find him under Jet Black, Facebook, Jet Black.
2 T's in a jet.
Okay. You can find him, and he is out there, and he's telling us that he sounds like he's dropping a new album. That's going to be available on Go-Go Royalty. For those of you that don't know what Go-Go is, that is the national anthem for Washington, D.C. I guess that's the easy way
Sure
to
is.
put it.
It sure is.
That's
And
wise.
we trying to go and we taking it to Ghana. We're taking it to Ghana. Shout out to Pierre Shuttlesworth, who just became a chief in the western region of Ghana. Pierre Shuttlesworth. He is the real Pierre Shuttlesworth that used to play with the Chicago Bulls. So, I mean, it's a lot, man, and that's going to be in the channel, Doc. So I'm going to need some help with that and be calling you outside too, Doc. You already know.
Okay.
Beacon of light forever. Beacon of light forever, man. Time to take it. Time to get the dubs out. I got my suits ready too. I got a couple in the cleaner, so all that's on the exclusive.
Hey, listen, you know what? Let me wrap this up because, it looks like the producer's hitting me up saying, you know what? Time is running out. So listen, everyone,
My bad.
like I said, Jet Black, look him up on Instagram and Facebook. But you know what? Let me just go back a little bit for my listeners. All right. Here we have an artist. Okay. Normal person out there doing his work, putting music out for people to enjoy. Okay. When you see people like him on stage performing, don't just automatically assume that life is perfect. Okay. Not just for him, but for anyone. Okay. And, because he came on tonight and shared with you some things that's going on with his own family and the difficulties he's having with, I guess, other family members and the care of a loved one. All right. Real people have real problems. When you see people, nothing wrong with just saying, hello, how you holding up, man? How you holding up, man? All right. Just letting people know that you care about them may be enough to get them through that day. All right. And maybe if a lot more people do that, I don't have to start the show out saying, we got more mass killings than we do days in the year already. Let's start to reach out to some of these people because there are a lot of people out here hurting. Man, they're in pain. And we can't see it because they're not wearing it. All right. But sometimes we just have to go out and just touch people, man. Just touch their hearts just by saying hello. Okay. And if you see somebody having a hard time, hey, say something to somebody or just say, hey, man, how you doing? All right. We can't rely on other people, okay, to take care of our own. Sometimes we may have to do a little bit of the work ourselves. And imagine the people we could save if we just stopped one of these travesties that has taken place so far this year. Imagine some people's lives that we could have saved by just stopping one person. Pardon me. But with that said, listen, God bless everyone. Be safe. All right. Until next week, is Chopping Up with the Doc. Jet, thanks for coming on. I'll see everybody.
Thank you, Doc.
I'll see everybody again this time next week. Have a good night.